Good morning, YouTube and all of our subscribers. Today is Tuesday, second day of the week. Be back at it from the weekend. Getting ready to go to work right now. Allison's finishing up in the bathroom. I'm finishing packing up my lunch and also packing up my gym bag. Tonight, I'm going to be heading to the gym after work before I come back to you guys. Allison actually has a dinner with her team that she's going to after work. And I had totally planned on going to the gym this morning, but for probably a total of 3 hours last night, our cats were being nothing straight of demonic. They were running around, screwing with the blinds, and doing all kinds of things and being obnoxious, and I just wasn't having that. This one was the main perpetrator. But I suppose that's the price of having cats, so getting ready to leave now. I don't know about you, but I'm excited to see the voting results from the video that posted today. So probably by this evening, I'm gonna try to take a preliminary look. I probably won't announce the total votes until tomorrow because I'll give it an opportunity for people to view the video and get a little bit more of a stable results. I'm super curious because I think both of those places had like pluses and minuses, and especially if we end up going out with a realtor tomorrow, there'll be more places to contrast. But I think we are going to head to work now. Are you ready to go?
Like 1 second.
Look how pretty she is. It's like she has a fashion blog or something. What are you doing? This is like you all last night, being a crazy. Okay, bye, we're going to work. Bye, we're going to work. Bye, we're going to, oh wait.
I'm going with you.
Oh, sorry, the cat caught away in the pets.
Oh yeah.
See you in a minute. What's up guys? Just got out of the gym. I have the current time of about 10 after 7 p.m. That's normally a lot later than I get out, and the reason why that is because I had an absolutely awful day at work. Today was a Murphy's Law kind of day. Those of you who do not know what Murphy's Law is, this is Murphy's Law. So now you know what I'm talking about. I could not catch a break today if it hit me in the face. It just seemed like no matter what I did, what I was working on, things were going wrong, especially working with other teams. It just got to the point this afternoon where I was kind of at a boiling point, and I knew that just going to the gym was going to be the most constructive way to deal with all of that. You see, I define constructive as doing something that doing something not at the detriment of yourself or others. And I'm not sure if that's the exact definition, but that's my definition. Because I know a ton of people that either drink, do drugs, have the tendency to be violent even. I don't know a lot of those people and I don't care to. But just, there's so many ways that people deal with stress, and you know, there's not too many different ways that you can go about effectively dealing with that I think better than constructively. So when I find myself really mad, I generally go do something physically strenuous like working out, going on a bike ride, going on a run, and just kind of like blow off my steam. I don't know if you are one of these people. Give this video a like if you're one of these people that does a lot of their thinking when they're like physically busy. So like when I'm working out or running or showering or something like that is when I do like all of my thinking. So generally when I work out too, it gives me an opportunity to actually like straighten my stuff out and like think it through and be like, it's gonna be okay. Also, most importantly, when you do have a bad day like I did too, I had to constantly remind myself, well, maybe not constantly, but at least remind myself that like, it's just today it's not gonna affect me tomorrow or the next day or the next day or next year. This will pass and you will be okay. And it's important for all of you to remember that too. All right, so I just got home. I got my food cooking in the microwave right now, and I just wanna walk you through what just happened, like what my train of thought was. And so, let me reenact this for you. So I was over here looking out the window just as I got home because I wanted to check on the traffic, and it's actually kind of not that bad. I noticed the sunset and I was like, oh dang, kind of crappy night to get the sunset on the vlog, so I guess I'll just make my dinner now. And there it is, done. So I walk over here, right? Walking. I'm gonna open that just so it stops beeping. And I reach into the fridge. I look down and I go, there were 2 here. Oh no, I only have 2 meals left, and those are my meals just for tonight. Obviously, I wouldn't say this out loud, but it was all in my head. But let me walk you through what was going through my head and then my corresponding facial expression. Oh no, there's only 2 left, and those are just for tonight. Which means I gotta cook tonight. So, we will be needing to hurry up and get our meal in us because it is currently about 7:30 right now. It normally takes me between 2 and 3 hours to cook all of the meals, and tonight is a slightly different, well, I could do this 2 ways. I could just recreate all of the meals that I did in the last week because I've only really been doing this for a week, and technically speaking, my meal plan says that I am supposed to have the same meals for weeks 1 and 2. You see, it says that right there, right there. So I technically could do that, but I don't know if I want to do that. The meals for next week are a little different. I actually would have to buy a significantly different amount of things. So what I may actually do is just buy enough items to patch me over to the point in which I can go do a full-on grocery shop and like get it all done. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make 3 more days of the same meals that I did the last 2 times. So that's like the chicken breast and the rice and the things like that. So unless I change my mind at the store, which happens sometimes, I think that's what I'm gonna do. All right, it's only been like an hour and I totally changed my mind. We're cooking new food. I'm thinking what I wanna do is actually do some dishes before I go to the grocery store. I have something super embarrassing to admit. I'm normally like one of the cleaner people that I know, and I'm like super on top of like all my chores and stuff. And over the last couple days, Alice and I have been kind of lacking in the dishes department, and this is disgusting. So I'm gonna get the dishes going while I run to the grocery store. I think Allison's gonna be heading home here pretty soon. That ding is probably her telling me that. So I am gonna get this done before she gets home, and then I'm gonna run to the grocery store. Alright, this is gonna be a 2-loader. Better get the first load going now. But let's head to the store. I made it back from the store, but I found somebody. At the store.
Hi guys.
How was your dinner?
It was really good.
Where'd you go?
Mods, liquor bar, wine bar, liquor bar, I forget.
Is it
It's
downtown?
like French style. It's owned by Bavette's, which is one of my favorite restaurants. It's off of Randolph.
Ooh, Randolph, all the nice restaurants are over there, huh?
Yeah, it was really good.
How are you, Sophie?
I missed my fur baby.
I bet. All right, so I'm gonna get going on this cook. I gotta get it done as soon as possible. But first, I'm not gonna walk you through like the cook and the preparation and stuff like that today because it's late and I gotta get this done. But what I am gonna show you is what my ingredients will be. All right, so first things first, one of the biggest things we've got is chicken. Vegetables, got our fruit, ground beef, salmon, sweet potatoes, oatmeal, egg whites, and last but certainly not least, brown rice. All right, so the dishwasher's going on in the background, so I apologize for the white noise. But we are going to be starting meal plan for week number 3. We are looking at about 1,900 to 2,200 calories, 250 to 300 grams of protein, 100 to 150 grams of carbs, 45 to 60 grams of fat. Here's your macros if you want that. Let's break down each day for you right now. So meal number 1. Meal number 1, and you can pause the screen at any point if you want to get these down. But meal number 1 is going to be 1 cup of fruit, 6 egg whites, 4 ounces of lean turkey. So we ditched the oatmeal. For the fruit, the egg whites went up a little bit and the turkey stayed about the same. Meal number 2, we're looking at 8 ounces of red meat. So that's either steak or ground beef, cooked the same way as we did last week. But you'll notice that we've got 1 small sweet potato. So we went from 6 ounces to 4 ounces. Meal 3, we've got 8 ounces of chicken or lean turkey breast, and then we've got 1 cup of vegetables. Meal 4, we've got 8 ounces of chicken or whitefish if you want to do that. You can use tilapia or cod. This is where you're going to bring your rice just like last week, or you can use oatmeal. This week I think I'm actually going to explore the oatmeal. And then we got meal 5, which is 8 ounces of chicken or whitefish with 1 cup of vegetables. Now, I want to go back to meal number 4. I mentioned to you before last week that at meal 4, you also can use salmon. So we will be having salmon for dinner this week. So pumped. Now, unlike last week, this week's meal is a little bit more expensive, and it's almost exclusively in part of the salmon. So you're looking at 8-ounce cuts of salmon, right? So at my supermarket nearby me, you got those 3 for about $16. So like I said, that's a little on the high side. You can definitely get the turkey breast, the ground turkey breast, or the chicken breast a little bit cheaper if you're rolling on a budget. No shame in that. But I also got egg whites in a carton, not just eggs. We talked about last week how you can just like strain your yolk off if you want to do that. No big deal. But now I'm gonna get to my cook, get this done, but the most exciting part is check out these meals. All right, so let's walk through them. So, just like I did in the meals before, meal 1, the breakfast, which is going to be the cup of fruit, the 6 egg whites, and then the 4 ounces of turkey breast is not here. I'm going to cook that live every morning. So, meal 2 is the cooked ground beef and baked sweet potato. We've got our chicken breast and our vegetables. I chose broccoli here. We've got our chicken breast and then what's gonna be oatmeal. I didn't want to cook oatmeal and then have it, sit for 3 days. So we'll cook that when I get home because these 2 go to work with me. And then these 2 are when I'm home. And then my last meal of the day, which is the salmon and the vegetables, which again is the broccoli. So this is going to be my meals for Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Now, here is the awesome thing, is that I get a cheat meal this week. I didn't mention this before in the meal plan, but let me go grab it. So in the meal plan this week, you will see that on either a Thursday or a Wednesday, given that I'm kind of doing this in the middle of the week, it means either a Friday or a Saturday for me, you can choose to do a cheat meal. Now, a cheat meal is different than a cheat day, right? So, but the criteria here is high protein, high carbs, saturated fat, okay? So, for me, high protein, high carbs, saturated fat, that's the prescription for pizza if I ever heard it. So I think that's what I'm gonna be doing. But the biggest thing in all of this is portion control, right? So all of you that watched my first meal prep video, if you didn't see that, you can click the link up here in the corner and can check that out. But the biggest part of prepping all of those meals is the scale. If you guys don't have a digital scale, a food scale that is, that can help you weigh out each one of your things, you can get a scale just like this. I'll put one in the description below, a link in the description below where you can get your very own. It's critically important when you're meal prepping and you're making these meals that you weigh everything out. If you don't do that, it is incredibly more difficult to be successful, because I've talked about before that my biggest problem is with portion controls and like overeating and things like that. So even, you know, too much of a good thing is bad, right? So I was actually having this conversation with Allison earlier that my entire life, I gotta put this down, this is about to be serious. My entire life, I have had an emotional attachment with food. When I used to eat and still do, I would feel calm or, you know, get a lot of pleasure in food. And I don't think there's anything wrong with enjoying eating, getting pleasure from eating. The problem is when that leads to overeating and a high frequency of eating with not a lot of activity and kind of sedentary behavior. My job is fairly sedentary. With the standing desk, I hope to curb that a little bit, but you can see where I'm going with that. And it wasn't until recently, even when I was in pretty good shape, you know, a few years back, the foods that I'm eating now have psychologically changed in my mind. So right now, I had this realization today that the food that I'm eating now, and it's like wholesome and good for you, is fuel, right? So instead of just thinking of food as this emotional thing that I, you know, take in and eat a lot of and kind of overindulge in some areas, that I'm literally putting the fuel that runs my body into my body, right? And just like you wouldn't put diesel fuel in your, you know, petroleum gas powered car, right? You don't necessarily want to put the wrong thing in your body, because obviously bad things happen with that. And I think that's a really good analogy here. And I'm not saying that you can't splurge or, you know, have a beer here or eat a cookie there or whatever it is, right? It's all within reason and portion. And, you know, I mean, if you work really hard and you're working out in the gym and are doing any kind of activity, even starting anywhere, you know, you've never worked out in your life, that's okay. Get up, walk around the house a couple times, do a couple laps, and, you know, work your way from nothing up to something, you know, because all it takes is just like that first step to get going and start that behavior of, you know, getting in the habit of being more physically active. So with the meal plans, that's really helping me. Changing my mindset from kind of food to fuel has really helped it click, because throughout the day you have lots of temptations, right? And that's where I live in. At work, there's always like food and different stuff that you can snack on, and normally it's not really good for you. And it really helps me differentiate, like, do I want to put that in my body? Like, I work way too hard to get my weight and my health under control. My family has some health problems, and like, I don't want that. I don't want my children to have that. And if I'm out of shape, you know, my future children don't have a really good example to, you know, live by. And I'm not saying that if you guys are out of shape, you're providing a bad example. Absolutely not. But I just don't want to ever have to have like my children take care of me because of decisions that I made in my life in terms of food. We can all stop that. And together, you motivating me, hopefully I'm motivating you a little bit, we can work together and get to a better spot. So work on those meal plans, make it just a step. If you can't do a meal plan, if you can't afford it, or if you don't have the time, just start making small decisions. You know, instead of the elevator, take the stairs, or walk that little extra bit. The small decisions add up. Those little bits add up over time. I believe in you guys. But I think that's gonna do it for us tonight, guys. It's about, oh geez, oh man, it's later than I thought. It's about 11:30 at night right now. We're gonna try to go to the gym in the morning again. So morning for us is like 5 a.m. So from like right now, I've got like 5 hours of sleep ahead of me to get up and go. And I still gotta edit the vlog for you guys. So I'm gonna have to let you guys go. Thank you so much for sticking with us. Let me know if you have any questions on any of this, whether it's the fitness stuff or anything to do with the meal plans. I'd happy to answer your questions. This week, we're hopefully gonna be looking at more apartments like we did in yesterday's vlog. So that's exciting. So please give this video a thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye guys.